Eryk,
What's going on, brother?
how are you?
Good, and yourself?
Not bad, not bad. Did you buy a house yet in Arizona?
Not yet, dude. The housing market out there is wild right now, dude. So I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon.
Well, I'll keep sending good vibes your way.
I appreciate it.
Speaking of Arizona, I mean, you did this camp out there. How'd that go?
Man, it went well. Training with a lot of high-level guys, and of course, uh, Eddie Chaw and Santino's reputation definitely precedes itself. So it's just up to me to go out there and put everything that I've learned and trained and put together into the actual fight.
What's it like seeing all these superstars come to that gym?
It's awesome, all these guys and girls, like their energy is so great, and you can kind of pick their brain and see what it is that makes them great. What is it that makes John Jones great outside of the physical attributes? What makes them tick? How do they train? How do they prepare their mindset? Cejudo. It's gonna be hard to find a more accomplished guy in combat sports than him. John Jones is in and out. Yuri's in and out. He's getting ready to fight for the belt. So, it's just some of these people. It's awesome to be able to pick their brain and what makes you you. How is it that you compete on such a high level? And I think most of all is what makes them consistent. How do you win consistently? How do you go out there, fight in and fight out, and fight consistently?
And you've been in locker rooms your whole entire life. Come from Alabama, one of the best college football team of all time. I guess kind of compare and contrast like that locker room compared to Fight Ready right now.
Um, uh, it, it's like apples and oranges, because there is no more hostile environment than a locker room. Especially you have 125 guys in the locker room who that's what they do is talk about you, make fun of you, and but it kind of builds camaraderie. And the same thing, there is with football, everybody has to go to the locker room to change and stuff. But with MMA, I may show up to the gym already, so before practice, we may get to jarring and talking and, all that. So they're similar, but the magnitude is much different.
Right. Obviously, your last fight didn't go your way, but I just wanted to know what did you take from that fight?
Um, Nothing I didn't already know. I felt good. I felt prepared. I hate to say nothing he did surprised me. He was a little bit stronger than I thought he would be, but um, it's just a game of inches. 1 inch my way, 1 inch his way. I get out of an armbar versus tapping to an armbar. So, just the margin of error is so small that you really can't afford any mistakes.
With you being in with Andre now, is he as good as everyone hypes him up to be?
Um, he tapped me. That's the first time I've been tapped, and maybe the second time I've been tapped in 40-something fights, amateur and pro. So, I think that says a lot. Especially tapping me the same way that he tapped Jacare just to fight, the way that I knew. He's deceptive, I guess. So, yeah, dude, you're in trouble if he puts you on the ground.
Your last two fights have been in front of sold-out arenas. Going back to the Apex. I mean, what's the feeling like? I know that you love to fight in front of fans. Now you're fighting back at the Apex. What's the feeling like?
I love the small cage. I think some of the fights that I've lost in the past, had it been in a smaller cage, I probably get these wins, because there's not a whole lot of point fighting. And if you look at the ratio of finishes from the big cage to the Apex cage, dude, there's a lot more finishes in that little cage than there are in the big cage. So, I prefer. Perfect scenario for me, they would take that little cage to the arenas with the sold-out arenas and stuff. But that's not the reality. So we're all in the same cage, fighting under the same, kind of situation or scenario or whatever. So, but for me and my style and the way I like to fight, the small cage is perfect for me.
Awesome. Jun-yong Park, what do you think of him as an opponent?
He's well-rounded. He's got, several wins in the UFC, many different ways, too. You've seen him wrestle guys. You've seen him beat him up from the top. His striking is good. His wrestling is good. But I just think that I'm better, and I'll be, too much for him at the come Saturday.
How do you see yourself getting your hand raised on Saturday?
I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a submission attempt or two out of me. I think that he'll like to wrestle, just because it's probably a little bit safer for him, especially after how his last fight went. But, however the fight goes, I'm prepared, on the feet, on the ground, against the cage, however it goes.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Did you take that last fight on short notice?
Like the opponent, yeah, but not really, because I was training for somebody else. Then I got COVID, so I had to, be on ice for like 2 weeks, and then they called me, and I think I had like 3 weeks to get ready for Andre, but, I was already in shape, and,
Does it
kinda, not really.
So does that kind of change how you feel about short notice fights? I know you're saying it kind of was, kind of wasn't. Would you take another fight in that kind of circumstance?
I almost prefer short notice fights, just because it's like, okay, show up, train, fight. I've been gone for 8 weeks. I've been training. I've been dieting for 8 weeks. I've been doing everything. 8 weeks, it gets kind of long sometimes. So, yeah, and I've had some pretty, good fights on short notice. So, either or.
And it's been about 6 months, I think, since you fought. Is that like a good amount of time, or would you have preferred to fight sooner?
I could have fought sooner, but, my neck was giving me problems, so I had to get that fixed. And, I had some procedures and stuff done, so, it really helps your performance if you fight healthy, And just wanted to make sure that I was healthy and 100% coming into this one.
And I've been asking all the fighters about betting odds. I'm wondering if you pay attention to that at all.
Hell yeah. I think Vegas got this one wrong, man. They got me at plus 180, so I've been telling the wife and the team and everybody, hey, this is the ticket you want to cash.
Have you ever bet on yourself?
I have, yeah.
Do you plan on doing that this
Yeah.
time? Can you divulge how much you're going to put down? Ballpark figure?
Man, I'll probably put 1,000 on it, plus 180, and then that'll be my drinking tab on Saturday night.
Thank you.
You could throw down $1,000, or is that just Vegas pricing?
No, that's what I'm gonna put down.
When you see that, and then you got the betting guys clearly in your mind going the opposite way of where it should be, is that the kind of thing that just fires you up, or is that just more funny that you're just like, oh man, I'm gonna stick it to some people, or does that actually light a fire under you?
I mean, yeah, plus 180, that's pretty big, and I think he's minus 220. At the end of the day, it's like external stuff that has nothing to do once the fight starts, but just a little something to think about, and cash a little extra ticket.
When you were given his name, did you know much about him? I mean, was this a fight that excited you, or is it you just really want to get back in there and just kind of erase that past one? You just want to get back to action, or were you excited actually when you got this name?
Man, I'm excited to fight anybody. Everybody in the middleweight division is tough. Everybody's good. Everybody's well-rounded. The opponent to me doesn't matter. They could have, offered anybody, and I would have been just as excited for one guy versus the next.
And you talked about you like the short notice fights. You don't like to think too much ahead. But going back to the football career, you were able to see your whole schedule laid out at least for that year. Other promotions, when they do the tournaments, they can kind of see the path. If I get through this guy, I know who the next one is. Do you see a benefit in something like that? If you could see a clear path, if you knew exactly if you got through this next opponent, that if you knew your opponents were laid out, would that be something that you would be into? Do you think that would be maybe something beneficial if you knew what the path was for you?
I think it's really hard to do that. One, because no telling how the fight's going to go. I could break my hand and then I'm done for, however long it takes your hand to heal. Or, you can get hurt in the fight, you can get hurt in training. So, man, you even see it all the time. Like, guys will have fights scheduled 3-4 months ahead of time and then get hurt, and now they're finding replacements and short notice guys. So I think with football, like in college, you have 125 guys. So if your quarterback gets hurt, number 2 slides in, like the train keeps moving. And I guess it does for the UFC as well, but, I think it would be really hard to plan, when I'm going to fight again. I could go out there, knock them out in 10 seconds, and I'm ready to go tomorrow. Or it could be a 15-minute, 3-round war. My face is all busted up. My hands all busted up. I got to sit down for a few months. So it's just, I don't know, I think it's a little bit more difficult.
Sure. How does the body feel, and how does it overall feel in this transition now that you've become a full-time fighter, the preparation and the constant going back in the gym? How does the body feel, and do you feel now that your physicality, you are a fighter as opposed to a athlete that just started doing fighting?
Yeah, I've been doing this for like 10 years now, half of that's in the UFC. This will be my 5th year on the roster, so yeah, this will be my 14th or 15th fight. So yeah, I think I've definitely evolved into a fighter rather than an athlete who just picked up gloves. And I think you've seen that over my career. I've encompassed wrestling into my game, jiu-jitsu into my game, boxing, kickboxing. When I first started, I refused to throw kicks, now I got, head kick knockouts and stuff. So I think I've definitely evolved as a fighter.
Maybe that's part of the answer, is the head kick thing. If there's something that you look back upon in this time, this growth, what's the biggest thing that you're proud of when you look at the growth that you've exhibited in this sport?
Just everything. I think when I first started, even when I first got to the UFC, I would just bite down and, let's meet in the middle and let's brawl, But as I've grown, I think I've taken more of a tactical approach, developed like a real skill set, and grown in every facet of the game.
So I guess looking at this fight, I mean, what's the goal? Is it to get a big emphatic finish, or is it just get a solid W and get back on the winning path?
I mean, obviously ideal. I don't get paid by the hour, so if I can go out there and get them out of there in round 1, that's ideal. But, I think a win goes a long way.
Where would the celebration party be here in Vegas?
I don't know just yet, but, we'll definitely be out somewhere, that's for sure.
Awesome. Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.